Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Magic the Blabbering podcast. I'm your host, Nick, with Josh. And
Hello.
today we're going to be talking about several things. We're going to talk about the Secret Lair sellouts, the arena achievements, Josh's pre-release experience with
Yeah,
Aetherdrift, MagicCon Chicago that's coming up,
yeah. Got my shirt
and
here.
yep, and Commander brackets. I'll be very happy to talk about that. But let's get started, Josh. We're going to get straight into it, talking about the Secret Lair sellout.
Yeah, yeah. So I think one of them sold out the same day within just a couple hours. I was able to get the ones that I wanted. I went ahead and ordered the two Aetherdrift ones and the Lorwyn one. So like I said, I was going to gamble on that Murmuring Boss being in there. So yeah, I got those. I I mean, I wasn't really interested in any of the other ones, but the one that sold out was the Artist Series. What was it, Jesper? Tell me what it is,
Just for
Nick.
Eising.
Yeah, it had the deflecting SWAT in it, which is like a $40 card. So that was driving that sale. And yeah, it sold out within a couple hours. But yeah, it just didn't. Most of them didn't really do anything for me, except for the Aetherdrift ones, because I really want to
So
collect the whole set with Aetherdrift, all the different alt arts and all that stuff. So yeah,
how
so
many
I
how many copies did you buy? Four or five?
no, I just bought one of each. I bought one of
Oh, one
each,
of each.
and then two of the Lorwyn ones, just so I could get.
Okay.
So they were giving away the Soul Ring if you spend $150.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I got the Soul Ring that looks like a steering wheel. So
So
yeah,
I prepared for the winter drop, but this is one I was a little invested in.
yeah,
I was very hyped for this drop. I been a Miku believer. I have been a little punished. Some of the Mikus have been better than others.
yeah.
The one with Azusa, I think that was the first one, was probably one of the better ones. Um, but I went hard on this one. I got five of the Miku layer.
Wow.
Five of the Miku layer. I got five of the deflecting SWAT layer.
Okay.
Just rising, just because of deflecting SWAT, I'm like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
All foil, and then I also got five of City Styles too.
Okay.
Um, City Styles 2, my reasoning is I had City Styles 1, and I just got one because I loved the Azusa. I was like, I love this, and it was non-foil. But I remember I just put those extra cards I didn't care about in my trade binder, and eventually I'd get into a trade and be like, oh, I want this. I'd look it up, and the card would be over $20. I think I traded multiple cards out of that secret layer for like $40 of value,
Wow.
and they aren't like cards that are even that good. Like Sakashima's like $25, and even the Paradise Mantle from the previous one was like $7 or $8. So I'm just like, it was pure value, and that was for non-foil copies.
Wow.
So I also love the City style, so I'm probably going to keep one of those.
Yeah.
I really kind of going to keep one of the Miku ones probably too. And just I actually like the style in the Just Rising for some of the cards, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get those deflecting spots in and now get a couple dollars, refund. Now I am a little annoyed with the Soul Ring, so I panic whenever they do this because when I bought the that big jumble up with the Marvel Secret
Marvel.
Lair,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't get the arcane signets. So
Hmm.
this time they're like, "There's a Soul Ring." I'm like, "Oh gosh!" But days in advance, I figured out that I was gonna buy what I was gonna buy, and then they kind of dropped the Soul Ring the day of. I'm like, "Ugh." But so I get in, I buy my things, and then because they shave off those little cents, I got less Soul Rings than I should have got. I got one less Soul Ring, so I'm like, "Come on, man!" And you can't go back in line to like fix it.
Yeah.
And I was waffling on the idea of getting the layer that has Murkfiend Regent in it. That's by one of
Hmm.
the Pokemon artists. I forget his name. It's here somewhere. But I was really waffling on getting that, and if I'd known it would have caught me another Soul Ring, I would have slammed that thing in my cart. But I couldn't do anything at the time, so
Yeah.
a little sad about that. But yeah, I think this was a slam dunk layer. I mean, this feels like a secret layer drop to me. Like I don't feel like some of our more recent ones have been very big hitters. This one had like multiple hits. Like I'm just like I'm interested in this. I'm interested in this. Surefire thing with the SWAT. Miku has relevant cards that are all good. I mean, Miku Counterspell, Miku Swan Song. Just a lot of playable cards. And then some of our best arts. I mean, Secret Lair I thought had fallen off, and right now I'm like, this feels like it. So
Yeah.
we'll see if I'm just gonna sit on five stacks of Secret Lairs over here, but
So
I'm pretty happy with.
like, isn't there like a rumor going around that the secret, like the bonus card in the Miku secret layer is going to be Snapcaster Mage? Have you seen that?
Because there was an image of a Snapcaster Mage. I thought it was in
Hmm.
one of the previous layers already, but I don't
Oh, was
know.
it?
I haven't seen the card.
I thought.
It was like a rare drop in one of them. It wasn't like a guaranteed drop, is what I thought. But maybe it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I
I
thought it
didn't
was.
kind of follow up on that after I opened mine and I didn't get it. So,
Yeah, I thought it was in
so
this latest one, but I could be wrong. But so yeah, that's.
there was one that had like Elvish Mystic, and I think the one that had Elvish Mystic could have had the Snapcaster if I remember correctly. I got the
Okay.
Elvish
Yeah.
Mystic. I was also
Yeah.
happy to have that Elvish Mystic. So,
Yeah.
um,
I mean, obviously, you'd
but
rather have
yeah.
a Snapcaster, but At least it
I,
wasn't
I
a.
actually had a deck to put that into
Oh,
immediately.
okay.
I didn't have a deck for Snapcaster. I
At
mean,
least it
yeah,
wasn't
I
a.
would prefer $1,000 or whatever. But
At least it wasn't a sliver.
yeah, oh,
Hopefully
or
we
random.
moved away from that, but
Yeah, what was that counter spell, dude? It's like three,
oh
two,
yeah,
two blue, and two. When I opened that, I was like, what is this? Like that's so
yeah,
narrow, and it was just a regular one, like no art special. Like at least make the art. I don't know. I don't know. So actually, I want to bring that up with the secret lair. Not to be Debbie Downer. I really like the secret lair, but being someone who resells them, when they do these like random additional things, like the soul ring and stuff, if you're like an end user, it's just gravy, right? I'm buying a bunch, I'm getting a bunch, I get a thing if I'm lucky. But again, I didn't like that they were like, you might get it. It really puts a lot of that impulse buy
yeah,
that I don't.
yeah,
Also, it depresses the prices on the cards, which for general users, regular people, why not? Right now, I can buy my singles cheaper. They're gonna get out cheaper. But for me, it's like can't really necessarily, expect my layers to stay worth anything because somebody will buy the whole set. Those big bundles of them where you get every
right,
layer.
yeah. It was like
It
500
already gets you
and six
another
hundred
discount.
dollars. Yeah,
Yeah, that already takes like 10% off, and then now you're gonna have the soul ring kicker. So now all your bad layers you can sell them even lower. So because you're like, well, I'm already up. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think
It's
this
kind of
I don't think this soul ring is going to be very desired. I haven't seen anything positive about it, but I mean,
oh really? People don't like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
What is the art? What's going on with it?
It's just a steering wheel. I don't know. Like it's
Oh,
supposed.
okay.
It's like from Mad Max, like where they had
Oh,
like had takes the steering wheel off and it's got like the um, Immortan Joe like symbol on it. So
okay. So
yeah,
maybe it's not that big of a deal. Just
yeah,
well, it's subjective. Like this time, it's not that good, but in the Marvel Secret Lair, that Arcane Signet was a huge
right,
deal.
right, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
so inconsistent. So and I didn't even have time to think about it. I'm like, I'm at work, and I get a message like, hey, they're just solving with. I'm like, oh no, like I didn't even
yeah,
think about this. Didn't make the decision. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna go back to my lures. But yeah, Secret Lair, this drop, I was happy with Winter drop. Very happy with this drop for the most part overall. Good
yeah.
cards.
That Hot Wheels Aetherdrift secret there looks pretty cool. I mean I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
I want like actually like little like actual cars from those cards. So
No, they're beautiful. Like
yeah,
I think this is a good secret layer. Like we got different layers, right?
hmm,
Like we got completely different layers, and we're both like happy about it,
yeah,
like what we got. So I'm like, you got the Lorwyn layers, and you got those. So like, it's kind of a win overall. I think I would have got the Lorwyn ones if I liked the art a little better. But yeah,
yeah.
the whole set,
I have decks that all those cards are gonna go in basically. So that's the reason I bought it.
yeah. And then I'm wondering, was there one we didn't buy? I think we bought between us. We bought all of them, right? Did we leave any on the table? I think we
Uh,
bought between the two of us. We bought at least one of each.
yeah,
So that's pretty cool. I mean, that to me is a good sign for Secret Lair. Everyone has a spot. We don't have ones that are just like weird, like what is this? I mean, they know the
yeah,
end result, but I'm happy with it. I like Secret Lair like this. If we can keep that energy going
yeah.
and
It just
keep
sucks that it's
people
sold
happy.
out. It just sucks that it sold out in a couple hours.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It sucks that like certain ones sell out and you can't get it if you weren't on time. But I mean, I don't know. Is this one of the layers? I guess we should have known this before, but is this one of the layers where you can get it in store and non-foil? Because I know that's coming. I just don't know when that's coming.
yeah, I don't think that happens till I want to say like May.
Okay.
Yeah,
So access to the actual cards um, won't be as bad going forward. So they got a plan for that. Now, if you want your super premium foil, yeah, you're gonna kind of take that L.
or your Soul Ring.
But or your soul ring, yeah, your random soul. I mean, I'm got mine. I got I'm not planning on keeping them. So yeah, I don't know. Looking back, you can still get some of the other layers. You can get your foil. I think you get non-foils the most. So I think it was over, or maybe not. Can you get the deflecting swat one anymore at all? Maybe not. So yeah, if you want your deflecting swats, you need to be a little faster on the draw.
Yeah,
But anything else in that layer, though, if you want anything else from that layer, like those cool Llanowar elves or something, they're gonna be like 5 cents. Be
that's true.
mindless.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah,
if you were
I
missing
dig that
out,
art. I dig the art on the Llanowar elves though. Looks pretty
yeah, I
cool.
do. It's like all grizzled. It makes me think of
Yeah.
that original art where it's got the side
Uh-huh.
profile or it's
Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah.
It gives the
Yeah.
right vibe.
It's like they just moved the camera to the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I do not care for that art of deflecting spot. I'd rather want the one with the dinosaur or the one with
Yeah.
the dragons. Like,
The dragon. Yeah,
you
the
know,
dragon. The
so
dragon one's the best one. Yeah.
get out of here. That one's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I got to say on Secret Lair, Josh.
Yeah. Let's talk
Other
about
than yeah,
let's talk about what I did this weekend with the pre-release. So
yeah, you got the Aetherdrift layer, and then you went to the Aetherdrift pre-release, or
well,
vice versa.
yeah, I went to the pre-release first, and then I did two over the weekend. We were going to do three, but we didn't have enough people on Sunday because of the stupid football game. So we were two-headed giant, didn't fire at F5, but we did one Friday, did one Sunday during the day. So yeah, it was oh my gosh, it was a fun experience. So Friday night I went undefeated and won the whole thing with black blue artifacts basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I opened three of the Midnight Manglers. I opened the Oil Deep Gear Hulk, and two of the Packdoll Terrors. And that Packdoll Terror, when it or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life and they lose a life. Having two of those on the board, and like I think there was like four cards in my deck that weren't artifacts, and I was just
Oh God.
like draining people. Yeah, I had some super
That's high
fun games.
density.
Yeah, I had some super fun games. The last game was against Boros as a Boros vehicle deck, and this stupid what's it called? This clamorous ironclad. Oh Jesus, God, that card! I had to face that so much this weekend. I hate it so much. It's a 6/3 with menace vehicle. Oh, that thing
Oh
is
yeah.
such a beating. Jeez.
That's on the
Yeah.
cycling, right?
Yeah.
It's a 4 drop. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just
For
get slammed.
yeah. I lost to that card on Sunday. A couple games, but Friday, yeah, I was able to overcome with the card where you put 3 stun counters on something. So I was
Okay.
able to just stall out the board and then kind of drain with the packed altars. So it was pretty fun. Um,
That card is powerful. The Pact Altair. That card is
yeah,
real good.
yeah, if you put that in the right deck, man, the black blue artifacts that I ran Friday night was pretty strong. I did Teamer, like Teamer kind of aggro on Sunday. I opened a loot, so I went that route.
Oh nice.
And it was pretty fun because I did the ooze card, the ooze enchantment, where everything's a 6/6.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, so get this. So with
Oh
that
gosh.
protect the rider card, where you make a pilot at instant speed, you could just make a six
Yeah.
six at instant speed. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. There was this two games I played against this guy. I was dead on board. He swung in. I made a 6/6 at instant speed, blocked, cracked back for the win. And then the next game, he was at 13, and he got me down to I think 1 or 2 life. And I had that enchantment on. I had two 6/6s on the board, and he's like, he is like, well, you can get me for 12. And I had the flash spider web enchantment that gives it +1/+2. Yeah, so I swung, threw that down, 13 damage exactsies.
You
Yeah,
thought you had him, though. You thought you were living.
yeah.
Nope.
Oh, I got the one that the card that lets you get 2 extra combats too. So if you lay that
Oh
the enchantment that makes your stuff 6/6s, and then the next turn play that with 2 extra combats, it's pretty nuts.
yeah,
Yeah,
full throttle. You're like, "Brr."
yeah, it really is full throttle. So I had a blast. I had a blast at the pre-release. Super fun. I did some stuff on Arena. I played a couple drafts, a sealed event. One game I decked myself because I just kept. There's the Alacrian guy where you pay for look at the top 5 cards, put a permanent in your hand and put the rest on the bottom of your library. I just kept like doing that. I had 2 of those. I just kept doing that every turn and just ended up decking myself. But yeah, yeah, I would have won, but like I had 3 or 4 cards left in my library. He plays the board wipe, the white board wipe, and I was just like, okay, well, yeah, I don't got this, but
That wipe is game over in that set.
yeah,
Was there a struggle to crew vehicles in the set, or did it feel
no,
pretty easy?
no,
Because I know
easy.
that was okay.
There's the one card where there's an artifact where you just pay 2, tap it, and you can crew or saddle anything, and so that card is really good. Especially so it draws a card as it comes in, and then you can just pay that. It's pretty. I played that Friday night. I think I had at least 1 or 2 of those in my deck, but yeah, crewing definitely was not a problem. These crew costs seem pretty low. I mean, not extremely low, but very 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 reasonable. So yeah, so I had a lot of fun playing in person. Played on Arena. I got some achievements. So I don't know if you know they have achievements on Arena now. They've got I think maybe 100. There's I think 10 for each color.
Wow.
Yeah, there's 10 for each color, and there's like 50 other different types of achievements. And then there are some rewards for them. You can get the avatars, you can get card sleeves, you can get different emotes, phrases, But the biggest thing is you get a title. So so I got the achievement where if you collect all 4 copies of every card in a set, you get this achievement, and you get the title of the collector. So yeah, that's naturally what I put on my arena. Yeah, on my arena avatar is the collector. So yeah, it's
Man, if I was still playing on there, I'd probably have like the drafter or something like that.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool because it gets you to play different like formats and get you to play different types of decks and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. It's something added, get you some of your cosmetics and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool that they introduced that for arena. But yeah, Aetherdrift, super fun format, super fun limited format. I've built a couple constructed decks. I built an all exhaust deck with loot and all the exhaust cards. So I built one red green goblins with the Agatha's Cauldron or whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you can just exile cards from your graveyard and then give those exhaust abilities to any of your creatures on the board because you put a +1/+1 counter on
Oh,
it.
so you can just
Yeah,
keep going.
yeah. So
Oh,
the house squad heavy, it like makes a goblin token every turn, so you can just tap, give that goblin token the exhaust ability, and use it, and then it's probably going to die anyways because you have to attack with it. But
yeah.
yeah, it's, yeah, it's
Right,
pretty
just
good.
use it,
So
draw cards, do whatever.
right, yeah,
take it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
that's pretty good.
yeah, so I've been brewing
That's,
some.
that's a standard deck you're
That's
messing around with on
yeah,
here?
yeah, both
Oh,
standard.
that sounds super
So
fun.
yeah, so
Loot, that card seems like a blast to play with, so I'm glad you get some
like
value out of him.
yeah, I like he is like the new what's that questing beast. Like every time I read it, there's more text on there. Like I didn't realize that he had double strike. He has double strike, vigilance, haste, and then he has those 3 exhaust abilities. Like geez, yeah, so,
Yeah, we opened, my roommate opened 3 collector's boosters this weekend.
yeah.
And he got the Japanese promo art of
Oh
Loot.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
this is one of the coolest cards I've ever. I'm like, let me see what I trade for it. It was like $80. Like, okay, maybe not.
yeah.
But it was sweet looking, and we had a blast opening all the packs. But that was the card that really stuck out in my mind. He also got the glitter foil Chandra, so he's just
Oh wow,
pre-rolled all of it.
yeah,
So
wow. Out of the same box.
I don't think they might have been in separate boxes. I
Okay.
don't really remember. But no, that might have been the same box. Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. He is still running hot. Even that was in MH3. He got that Emrakul too.
Yeah.
No serial Emrakul. So
Yeah,
this is the biggest-
no serial cards from Aetherdrift.
No, not even a single. He said this from his pre-release. He had not, and maybe this is different for you, but he saw no Aether Sparks at his whole pre-release events.
I saw one on Sunday. Yeah,
Yeah, so it must be very rare, like a super, or maybe it's just our locality. We're just not seeing it randomly, but
yeah,
apparently it's a very hard mythic to open, like a mythic. I know people say stuff like that, and it's not always, it shouldn't be true,
yeah,
but sometimes it does have that feeling where you're like, why is this rare or mythic just like not appearing as much as
yeah,
every other card? So yeah,
Yeah.
and then opening boxes was cool because I like the box opening experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the lands, and there were all sorts of cool, fun cards. So we were reading through some of them, like the cat chariot that like discards and makes skies, and
Oh,
you got several of that monument card we talked about on the last podcast. That, like when you discard, you draw or deal damage or whatever. I got to see
yeah.
that in action in one of our commander games this weekend. Someone like
yeah.
bolt. I was like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah, that's
So that was
awesome.
pretty cool. There's also like a guy from, I believe, this new set from Aetherdrift that's like when you discard cards, you like all take that much damage. I think it's from this set. It's like has cycling. That red card was performing a lot better than I thought.
Yeah, it's a red creature, and whenever you discard a card, deals 1 damage.
Yeah, he was using that to like chunk, and it's each opponent. So you're just like,
Yeah,
oof. I was like, jeez.
yeah,
And then like just random commons. There's like a shark who's playing this shark pirate because shark pirates. And it's like when you it's like a 4/5 reach. It's not very good, but it's like a 4/5 reach. But it says you can discard a card to draw a card, and you can do it on each player's turn, but only once. And I was like, wow, this card is like for a common. That's a lot of abilities.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a lot of card filtering for a red card too. So I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, Redskins. So
yeah. That
yeah.
that stupid what is it? Clamorous Ironclad. That's a common.
yeah,
The 6/3 with menace is a freaking common.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just get beat up, and it has cycling, right? So if you have to
Yeah,
get any of it,
right.
just get out of here.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it just needed haste. Make it the vehicle ball lightning. Just boom.
Yeah.
What was that? What was the one from Kaladesh originally? The car fleet wheel cruiser.
Fleet wheel
Like that
cruiser,
type of
yeah.
effect?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we're cruising on through Murgana, but now I think it's time to get into Tarkir, or should I say MagicCon Chicago?
Yeah, MagicCon Chicago next coming up here just in a few days. So I'm
We got our
leaving.
case set over here. My roommate's like, I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night. We're gonna buy our because I'm buying a collector's case is the plan. So looking
Yeah.
forward to getting to Tarkir.
Yeah, I mean, we just got Aether Spark in our hands, and now we're talking about Final Fantasy, and then Dragons or Tarkir's coming up here in a couple months. So, well, yeah. So at MagicCon, yeah, we might see some Tarkir stuff then, because Tarkir comes out in April, and Final Fantasy is in June. So MagicCon Vegas will be all Final Fantasy. So yeah, so I imagine that we'll get some stuff at MagicCon Chicago for Dragon's card. What is it called?
It's Dragon's
Dragonstorm. Yeah, Dragonstorm. Yeah. So yeah, I got my badges and stuff for MagicCon a couple days ago. Got pre-ordered the shirt, so I'm ready.
That shirt looks freaking sweet.
So they did. So we got some stuff about the merchandise too. So the Festival in a Box at Chicago has comes with a playmat with this art on it. So so if you buy the one at Chicago, you get the playmat. So you remember last podcast we talked about the Festival in a Box, and you got the promo cards in it, the Sliver, the Sarah, and all that. And I said, well, one of those is normally the card that you get when you spend money at the merchandise booth. $150 is what it normally is.
Hmm.
Well, um, we got information that we're getting a actual card specifically for that. So it's a new. So John Avon did the planes with the Lotus on it. That was the card that we got at Vegas. Well, we're getting a. It looks like an island in Chicago. So John Avon
Ooh.
Lotus Island. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. They
Ooh.
you can check out my I posted it on like Blue Sky and Twitter and stuff with the art for that card. Yeah, it looks pretty sick.
I'm
So
gonna check that out.
we'll be getting that for spending so much at the merch store in Chicago. But yeah, they released some of the merch today. There's lots of cool pins. There's pins of all this like Ratfink style, all those cards. There's pins of those. They've got a set of Planeswalker pins with Gideon, Urza, Liliana. So they released that today. Yeah,
Those look great. Those would be awesome.
yeah. So yeah, I love all this con specific merch that they put out there. So I'm looking forward to the full set or the full list of merchandise when that comes out here. Probably here in a couple days because I mean we're just days away from MagicCon. So
Yeah. Did you
it's
already sign up for your events, or is it
yeah,
drop?
yeah. So the only event I'm doing is Commander Cocktails with Brian David Marshall. So that's the only event that I signed up for. I signed up for it the day that I bought the badges. So we're doing.
And you're going to do the game, right? Going to do the
Yeah,
festival game.
yeah, so that's why like I'm not doing any other like play events besides that the Commander Cocktails because I'm probably going to be hanging out in Creator Central all weekend. Saturday morning I'm doing the set symbol game. So yeah, if you guys are out there and want to come by and play the game, if you know your set symbols, study up and win some
The
prizes.
game's
So,
hard.
yeah,
The
yeah,
game's hard.
yeah. It's fun though. I love doing it, and so yeah, I'm probably going to hang out mostly at the Creator Central, most of the weekend. So we'll do that event Friday. And then Saturday night after, so the con floor closes at like 6 or something, and then the play area is open till like midnight. So at 6 o'clock, whenever the con closes, we'll go down and play in our Commanders and Cocktails event at the play area. So yeah, so it'll be a full weekend. Like I said, I'll be hanging out in the Creators Central, playing some Commander. Playing set symbol challenge,
What decks
hanging
are
out.
you
So
going to push people with Eldrazi, or are you going to bring in
yeah,
Aetherdrift newbies?
I'll bring Eldrazi for sure. I'll bring my Angels deck. I'll probably bring Lathril, maybe Nekizar. I don't know, but for sure Angels and Eldrazi and Lathril. Those are the three that I kind of main. So actually, I do have um, so I'm doing this thing. It's called a commander like adventure, like a campaign. So you like start. It's kind of like a mix between kind of D&D and Commander, um, and there's like a different achievements and stuff that you like change the way you build your deck and everything. So you start out by answering this set of questions, and that gives you like the parameters for you to build your deck. So like my deck had to be black and red, and it had to be partners, and it had to the creatures had to be like humanoid. So I'm playing Vial Smasher and Krark as
Oh
partners,
yeah.
and then I built my deck around that. And then we get together and play every week, and you get certain points for doing certain things. And then like some of the things like let you change your deck and everything. So like after our first week, I started the next game with 5 more life, and I had to add 4 copies of Lightning Bolt to my deck. So yeah, and
Okay.
so then after this last, so that was the first week. Then the second week we just did. We're getting ready to do the third week. The second week after we were done, I had to add a band card to my list. So I think I'm going to add Krark's Other Thumb because I have Krark's Thumb in there, and it's a Spellslinger deck with a coin flip sub theme to it. So I'm going to add Krark's Other Thumb because you get points for like flavor and stuff like that too. So if I can get Krark and both his thumbs on the board, like I'll get points for that and everything. And so we'll play for like 8 or 10 weeks, and then at the end we just calculate all the points that we've got over those weeks and declare the winner that way. So yeah,
I mean, you just have to say it's like this is a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, but you're gonna be like Krark, his thumb, his other thumb, and then you win. That's it.
So I might take the lightning bolts out of that deck, take it to MagicCon, and play it too. It's pretty fun. So it runs. It's like I said, a spellslinger. It runs the arcane bombardment. So if I can get some of those spells under that arcane bombardment, then you know
Yeah.
that's how I won the first one. So it
Ah.
was yeah. I had like demonic tutor on a stick under
Oh.
bombardment. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, I've never seen that card get to go off. Everyone is like, "Oh, you're doing that? You have to die now."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It was at
that's
the
it.
like it was people were down pretty low. So I played a card where you choose 3 and you can choose the same one more than once, where every player loses 2 life. So
Okay.
I played that, and one guy was at 5, one guy was at 4, and one guy had 9 lives out. And so I killed the
Oh,
two. I killed the 2 players with that one card, and then put 3 counters on 9 lives, and he was almost dead after that. So because
nice.
I had burned spells under Arcane Bombardment too. So
Oh yeah, four bullets in your deck, he's dead.
yeah, I had Breath of Mouthcore. Yeah, that card does 5 damage each opponent. So if you can get that in
Yeah.
there, it's pretty good. So yeah, it's pretty fun. So I might bring that deck just just to screw around. I don't know what bracket it falls in though.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of brackets, this is kind of my news thing for the week. I thought I was
Yeah,
just going to be talking about secret lair nonsense, but
yeah,
actually some big commander news. If you don't know, I'm big on the commander scene. Um, so yeah, uh, Magic or Gavin, I guess, Magic Gathering now. The RC is now run by Wizards, or the ban list anyway. In September of last year, at least that's what I heard earlier today, announced they're going to do a bracket system. And we saw some things about Grave Titan and Swords of Plowshares, and everyone was like, what is this crap? And
yeah.
they said they're going to get it out by, I think, last year's Las Vegas.
Yeah, right before Las Vegas MagicCon last year, and
Yeah.
that was at the end of October, and that didn't
Yeah.
happen. Which I'm glad.
Yeah, we're
I'm
all
glad.
like,
I'm
please don't
glad.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah. And now we've seen, after quite a few months, them come out with their original, or their first take, their beta. They're calling it the beta run of
yeah,
this. And they've let us all know we can ignore this if we want to.
yeah.
Just like we could do the other systems we had before.
Right. Yeah,
What was it, the power level ratings?
yeah,
Um, so I've experiencing a lot of people bashing it, but first let me just get as brief as I can, explain what the rec system is.
yeah. So now
Is brackets.
it's called the Commander Format Panel. They changed the name of it used to be Commander Rules Committee. Or
Yes.
yeah, so now it's a Commander Format Panel, and it's all new. Are there new people on it, or have they
Yes.
brought?
I think it's new and old.
Okay, so it's a mixture of some people that were on the previous rules committee. Okay.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag between them. Gavin obviously being the new
Right. Yeah.
one of the new ones with the leadership, I believe, role, if
Yeah.
there is to be. Probably taking a lot of approach from his management of Popper,
Popper.
which,
Yeah.
to my knowledge, is going good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the way he communicates. At least it seems very like he makes videos. He says, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is
Right.
why. Please give us feedback."
He writes articles. There's an article that goes along with this new system they came out with too. So
Correct. And I'm just going to go over a little bit what the 5 brackets are. And to start, the first bracket is bracket 1, Exhibition. Think of this as the lowest part of the bracket system. Rules are ultra casual commander deck, no mass land denial, no extra turns, no 2-card infinite combos, no game changers, few tutors. Okay, we'll get back into what game changers are a little later. 2, core, the average current precon deck, no mass land denial, no extra turns, no 2-card infinite combos, no game changers, few tutors. So in 2, you can have extra turns, but not looping or
yeah.
concatenating extra turns. Then 3, we have upgrade. Beyond the strength of an average precon deck, no mass land denial, no chaining extra turns again, sorry. Late game 2-card infinite combos, 3 game changers, and then 4 is optimized high power commander. It's time to go wild, no restrictions other than ban list. And then bracket 5, CEDH. You're also, and it's basically saying it's unhinged, but you're thinking about metagame choices and nothing other than the ban list. So those are the brackets. And then just to go into what game changers are, there's a whole list of cards that they've said these are the game changers. These are the cards that kind of shift you up and down the bracket system outside of those broad terms being land denial, chain extra turns, etc., comboing.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to get the whole list of game changers.
No,
if we want.
I was surprised. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant when it comes to Commander, but there were some cards on there that I didn't realize that were considered game changers, like Jessica's Will. I had that in one of my decks, but I mean, it may be the way that what I intend to do with it is, different that makes it a game changer. But
so I play Ilharg, the Raised Boar, as one of my commanders.
yeah,
and that deck pushes some people down. I don't even play much fast man in it, but I did play Jessica's Will. And I can tell you the games that I draw Jessica's Will in the first few turns of the game are like, I literally had someone say this to me when I went to a convention, anime convention I was playing, and they said, "What type of Yu-Gi-Oh thing just happened?" Because I played a rock on 2, then on turn 3 I played Jessica's Will for 7, played my commander, equipped it with the Greaves, and smashed somebody. So I did that like a turn earlier than I'm supposed to, but
yeah,
that's kind of the whole thing about fast mana is you're doing things outside of the time frames people expect and faster. So in the games I've played, just because Will really is crazy, and there are a lot of times where somebody will have a fistful of cards, and randomly it becomes like this like dockside extortionist level thing, and that's later in the game.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not really the thing. It's really that burst of mana. You get 7 mana for 3, and also cards. So it's never really dead. And even in the mid game, it's like, plus 2 to 3 mana, and you get to play 3 cards. It's. I was with you, but then when I played it, and I got the immediate feedback, even from my more competitive playing friends, that what the fuck, or
Yeah.
what the, I cut it from my deck, and my deck I think became more level. It's still
Yeah.
powerful, but like I didn't have those games where it's just like just because Will,
Okay.
it's over. So that's one that I can back up.
Yeah.
Ones that I thought were kind of funny. I was surprised to see Trinisphere, and I know that card's pretty rude, dude. But Commander, I'm like, I think that's only gonna bother people who are already doing mean things. Like,
Yeah.
all my cards cost 1 or 2, and oh no, they all cost 2. So I thought that one was kind of weird. I mean, maybe it also fights free spells, which good. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand that one personally. Of the things on the list, that's the one that sticks out to me as being like, what? And then also like Tabernacle, I'm like, no one owns that, but I guess people proxy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when it is in play, I don't think it's like, I think it's legendary, so it's not like that big of a deal. I don't know. I'm probably underrating it. I've played games where that card's annoying. There are definitely some cards I wish were on this list that aren't.
Like Soul Ring.
Yeah, I mean that's just the fact that this keeps happening every time we get to this commentary. Like, yes, I'm on the side that Soul Ring should be fast mana should be on this list, but then they say it's iconic, and then I go to and every time they say that, I'm like, that was never the thing that was really iconic about Commander when it started. It was having a commander, but it's not a pillar, so you can't say this is the format.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, it shouldn't be iconic of the format if we're starting to say that fast mana is a problem. Why would the poster child of the format be a thing that we're actively saying you should limit in your deck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no, the pillar of the format should be Arcane Signet then. Like, literally, like just let it be Arcane Signet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, it doesn't evoke power, but I don't think that's never been the point of Commander, if you ask me. It's never been, ever since I've been playing it since like 2009, 2008, it was like, play a big splashy thing. If it's so important to have one thing be it, I mean, there's plenty of artifacts in the game. I honestly, I think the best thing about Magic is its non-ubiquity. Like, I don't want to go to a format and be like, oh, I'm playing this. I don't even think most Legacy players, when they say Brainstorm's iconic, are sitting there like, all my decks have Brainstorm. It's like, there's plenty of other decks. So, to me, I don't know, this system, but we're getting kind of in the weeds of the ban list. I could go on and on. Cards should be on here. Humility. Like, if you're a casual player, if you ever play against the card Humility, that would make me want to blow my brains out more than playing against, like, Ruination or... And I'm not saying those cards are fun either, but when somebody just slams a Humility and you're like, I'm not in green or white. I'm not playing the game anymore with my creature deck. Like, it's just over. Like, anyway, there's just other cards that I have a list. Other one I found funny was Jin Gitaxias. It is mean, but I'm like, it's 10. Like,
yeah, I mean, Vorinclex is on the list too, which I agree.
Yeah.
I played against that, and it's super unfun. So
yeah. Well, Vorinclex comes down. You like really can't do anything.
Yeah.
Jin Gitaxias comes down. You at least get like a moment to kill it. Like you can like spot remove it on the spot, and if they get, I mean, it's good. It's good. I'm not arguing that. It's just. I feel like I've played more games where Vorinclex will take over the game out of nowhere off of like anything, where Jin Gitaxias is actually kind of a struggle. You literally need like reanimate.
I think more people play Vorinclex though than Jin Gitaxias.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And
sure.
like Gitaxias goes in like a specific type of deck too. Like it doesn't go in every blue deck. Whereas Vorinclex,
it's like a blue black card. It's not like a blue card. It's like a blue black card. That's why I'm like, Where Vorinclex like any deck,
any
like,
green deck,
put that in any deck.
Yeah.
And then cards like Natural Order exist, and you're just like, great, this thing is doubling your mana and Winter Orbing me, which is just awful. It is. I like the card. I had it as a commander a long time ago.
Of course you did.
I did. But I thought it was like, because green's kind of goofy. I was like, I'm just playing my big idiots, and then you guys got to go slow. But that was back in the day. I didn't understand the social contract as much back then.
Yeah.
I used to cycle myself a Decree of Annihilation to win a lot of games. It wasn't always the nicest when Commander started. So we developed, we grew.
Well, you were like a teenager then, so like chalk that up to hormones or whatever.
Yeah, that's half a lifetime ago. But so I want to go back to the brackets themselves because we can go on. I'd love to go into detail about all the things I feel about the ban list, or not the bracket list, or game changers.
Game changers.
I'd love to go into reviewing that terribly, but just going back to the brackets, I like them. I think they're pretty good. I find a couple flaws out the gate. One of the flaws, I feel like, why have 5 when 4 and 5 are like the same thing? I'm sorry, that's just
So,
To me, that's so close to the same thing.
I saw him talk about. He did talk about this. They started with 3, and then they were saying that like 1 and 2, they needed 5, and they were saying that 4 and 5 are different because like CEDH is like meta based and stuff like that, and whereas 4 is just your like overly overpowered decks. Just your everyday overpowered deck instead of like a tournament. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I understand the difference technically, but
yeah,
because their delineation is not in cards, it's not in card pool or
yeah,
restriction, I
it's the
really don't
deck.
see much of a difference.
It's in the
It's
deck
like it's like
construction. Yeah,
yeah, your CDH deck might be doing Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, but my optimized deck can also be doing that. It's
yeah,
not necessarily. So for me, I feel like just merge those together. Don't call it CDH, call it optimized, so that it's like, look, you got to pay the price. I feel like that's the price you got to pay. If you're going to be the guy, you know, maxed out Derevi or whatever, you also have to play the guy who's doing Demonic Consultation, whatever.
hmm
I mean, I think that's what you're signing up for. I don't see why we need to separate them out because you guys aren't doing the social thing. You guys are here to destroy
right.
people.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
then get destroyed. I mean, fight on the sword. Because really, you're just giving the optimized people more of a leeway to go backwards to play. And I'm not saying people can't play together, but you're more sliding them towards the 3 people than what you're intending, if you ask me.
yeah,
And then actually, I think that my next thing is that I think that precons being a metric's a little weird. Precons have been inconsistent. They still are inconsistent.
yeah,
The way people experience precons is not unilateral. I've seen this throughout the years where somebody will say this is the best precon, and then another one's worse. But I've played with all the precons and of several different expansions, and I can tell which ones are better or worse.
yeah.
Or people don't understand the way to play this precon, so they underrate it, or people will overrate them because they're well balanced. So
hmm
I don't think it's a good metric to use to be like, precon is this power level or this because people don't understand what that means. Personally, I think it would. I like the narrative they're going on of like, I like the idea of like fun, casual ridiculousness, and then there's precon level, and then there's I'm trying to do stuff. But I think there's this gate between precon level and every card in my deck is on plan.
Yeah,
I think there's a big gap in there where we actually needed that extra space. Like
yeah,
I would put something in between core and upgraded.
yeah. Like a 3.5 or 2.5. Yeah,
2.5, yeah.
2.5. Yeah,
And me saying that is because this is actually kind of the way I play and my play group plays some of the time. Some of our friends play a lot more in the upgraded, optimized, and don't even realize it. But that's a whole different thing. But this is why I like this. This is kind of putting some actors in place. And also always hitting on extra turns in addition to land destruction, which I also like. I love this about this list. But yeah, for me, I think not all decks. I don't. So for me in Commander, it used to be you'd have your deck, and then there was so much extra space because there's such a limited card pool that you had your deck and it kind of what it's trying to do. But then you had all these slots that were kind of like flex, so you could do
hmm
something creative or some second sub theme or something a little off-brand, or just play a pet card or two. Which
yeah,
I think we want as many pet cards in our decks as possible. So having you go from my deck is about chairs to my deck's a precon to my deck is every card is on theme. I'm like, what? That
yeah,
sounds more like it's an optimized to me already. So I'm like, there's a space between there where it's like I have my precon or I have this deck idea. It's not fully like I haven't like min max every
yeah,
curve piece. I haven't like I have some cards that I like. I'm the guy who plays a chroma in every one of my decks, right? I play or I play a Gear Hulk in every one of my decks. Like this is my favorite Gear Hulk. I play a Gear Hulk in every one of my decks.
yeah. That's
You're
where
one of
most
those
of my decks
colors.
are. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think that's the sweet spot. So I feel like they don't even recognize the sweet spot. Like
yeah,
this looks like it goes from you eat paste. Like I almost feel like I mean they named it nice, but they made it like sound like you eat paste because they're saying if you're in the exhibition, your deck isn't even as functional as a precon is what this says to me. So it's you eat
yeah,
paste, and then it's you can buy a deck and do better than that, and then it's every card in your deck is part of your plan, and then it's the next level is you're also a jerk about it. Like you're a jerk about it, and you'll combo me out as soon as possible. So not only will it be on theme, but it will have every combo possible that could be unfun.
and then the next
And
level
then,
is you do that in tournaments.
but now I'm respecting you because now I'm only looking for opponents who are ready to crush and be
Right.
crushed.
Yeah.
So now it's like honestly the difference between optimized and CDH is like delusion and non-delusion. If you ask
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I guess I would have an optimized deck. So like my more higher end, like my old Prosh deck, if I updated it to the
Oh
day,
yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
would still fit in optimize, but it wouldn't be. I would probably be missing it. I guess like I think food chain combo would be in there. Like I don't play it. I didn't play it when I played it, but that would be a card that could be in there, but that would fit into optimized. It wouldn't be CEDH territory because it doesn't play good against that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's where that would be, right? But I really like my decks to be kind of in between that core and upgraded. A lot of this is actually just adding to my philosophy of like trying to not take extra turns, try not to blow up lands, try not to do tutoring, try not to do this. Only other thing is, I wish they didn't say few tutors. I wish they actually put like a number on it. I wish it was like 2, 5, 10, whatever.
Yeah, but there's a big difference between like demonic tutor and vampiric tutor and like worldly tutor, like
ideal tutor.
Yeah, there's a big difference between those. So you can't like kind of lump those all in the same. So
you're right. I'll give you that because they're most of the bad ones are in the game changers. So
yeah,
I guess it kind of patches that. I will say it was weird that worldly tutor snuck. Is just getting a sneak pass on that. Yeah. I'm like, I don't think that's right. I think that needs to get on there too. I don't know. Stop. Like it, green. Most people would say green's one of the most powerful colors in casual commander. So like, get your shit.
It's fine as long as you're not getting foreign collects or something.
Right. So like the mid actors or the mid tier, like this third grade people will still be doing stuff. Like not everyone, but I'm sure some amount of them are going to be like worldly tutor turn 1, turn 2 devote, or was it hermit druid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like. And I'm not saying like you're gonna like they said this won't stop bad actors, but I'm like just move it over one. Like just move it. 1 mana tutoring. It's still 1 mana tutor. I don't know why it's in the pass. But yeah, so those are most of my thoughts on it. Just maybe put a little bit more spec because one of my friends actually and I have built several of these exhibition style decks, and they can operate above a precon. And they can operate probably closer to the upgraded level. You just have a lot of handicaps. So
what kind of decks have you built like that?
I had a Jungle Book theme deck.
Oh yeah, you talked about that last time. Yeah.
I had a Jungle Book theme deck. I have a deck that this one was more spiky. It was more mechanical, but like all the cards had to have 2 options. This is my mono blue deck, trying to make it more fun. It's still not that fun. But
my like commander campaign deck. That's like I went through and like probably 80% of the cards are all modal cards where you can pick. That way, when I have them under the arcane bombardment, it's a different spell every time. So yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's an exhibition deck probably. I guess your campaign deck.
Yeah.
I mean, would you say your Eldrazi deck is upgraded? Is it like every card is as best as it can be?
No, absolutely not. But so my Eldrazi deck, I took both precons, right? Mashed them together. I threw in all the Titans. I threw in like Ugin's Sanctum, the Eldrazi lands. But really, I just really mashed those two together, and it's, pretty powerful. I don't know where I put it on this scale. Maybe a 3.5. If you just go by the book, my deck is a 2.
Yeah.
Like if you just take my Eldrazi deck, it's a 2. If you go just by the book, but like I know it's more than a 2. So.
Yeah. Actually, my goal with this list is actually I want to be playing in exhibition. Like I want to be playing in 1, 2, or 3, I guess. But really 1 or 2 is what I'm trying my games to be like.
Yeah.
Like
I used to like when we had the crazy. Like when we had the 10 number the 10 scale, every deck's a 7. I would always say my deck's a 7 but the pilot's a 2. I'd always say that because I would play my I always said that about my son's Lather deck because like I have played it a couple times but like I don't know everything that's in there. I know you try to make elves and you turn them sideways to deal 10 damage, and that's really it. So so I mean the deck it plays a Gaia's Cradle. Like the deck could be a 9 or 10, but I'm running it, so and I'm bad at Magic. So that's what I always say. The deck's a 7, the pilot's a 2. So
well, that used to happen for me because like me and my ex-girlfriend used to play, and she'd play precon, I'd play precon, and the games did not play like the decks were balanced.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I'll play this deck and destroy you. Oh, you give me that deck, I'll still just, you know what I mean? It's just like I've been playing since I was 13 years old. Like I'm sorry, how it's gonna go. So yeah, it's just that's my thing. Like play skill is also a factor in here. Like just general deck building. So like 3 is hilarious because I'm sure I've played against many people who think this is the 3. Oh, my other exhibition deck. I don't know. Maybe budget falls under exhibition. My $45 Joyra deck. I remember playing against a guy who thought his deck was real hot, and I wrecked him with my budget deck. And I felt a little bad because this was never my intention, but I was like, oh, it's my budget deck, and I won. And he's just like, you beat me that bad with a budget deck, And I was like, oh well, I wasn't trying to make you feel bad, But that guy thought his deck was upgraded. He thought, So that's kind of what's funny about this scale too, because this isn't going to necessarily eliminate people understanding where they are, other than like pushing out cards that might make unsavory games
Yeah.
a little bit more, which I'm kind of liking it. I like it. It also gives that leeway for the people who want the game changers that upgraded, I guess. Like if you're really reaching in that power pocket, you got to like put a little more.
Well, the
But
one thing I really like about this system is them having that game changers list. So it's like a kind of a buffer between the ban list. So like we could have cards like Coalition Victory, for example, on the game changers list, where it's not like an instant win card every time. Like it doesn't. I don't feel like Coalition Victory deserves to be banned. Does it deserve to be on the game changers list? Yeah, probably. And so it does
yeah,
give us that extra kind of like maybe this card doesn't need to be banned, but we can put it on this list, and so people can go from there and take that for what it's worth.
yeah,
So
I like that concept, but also I'm just like leave the ban list what it is. Like I feel like making shifts to that now, you're really not doing a lot of service. So like when they're like, oh, we might unban some cards, I'm like, who cares? Like literally, like why? Like I'm trying to even think of cards that I'm like, oh, I really want to play because this is going to
yeah,
move me up out of the brackets I want to. Like, what are they going to do? Like, so if I had to pick, if I picked, and I don't think I would, but if I like had to pick cards on the ban list that I want to play with personally, I would want Grizzlebrand and I would want Gifts Ungiven because I love those cards.
yeah,
But I also know what it's like to play against those cards,
yeah.
and I don't want to play against them. I want to play them.
I want
So
to
that's
play.
kind of the thing.
I want to play Emrakul. So
Oh, well, you're a real villain. So, you know what I'm saying? No, yeah, yeah. Actually, no. Heck no. I don't want to play against that card ever again. It was like 2 years of hell with that card. Just like every game was like,
in
oh,
standard.
went on so long. Oh, in standard it was fine. In freaking Commander, it was just like every game. It's like, oh, the game's gone on too long because back then it was like trying to kill each other with a butter knife, and it's like, oh, Emrakul, like, oh,
Yeah,
oh, they're Emrakul, and then I hated that experience.
I like
I mean, but
Battlecruiser
yeah,
Magic. So
that was not Battlecruiser Magic. That was like a nuclear weapon. Like, you kidding me?
I gotta be honest with you. Like I was playing my Eldrazi deck last weekend. We played on Saturday for our campaign, and then we played a couple games for fun. And I played the Eldrazi deck, and I like legit felt bad when I had Annihilator on the board. So like it's probably better that Emrakul's banned, like, just to keep me so I can sleep
Yeah.
at night. So
If they move that card over, or Primeval Titan or something, I'm gonna be like, we're messing up. Or
yeah,
Prophet of Crucifix, like, we are messing up. Just leave that ban list the way it is. Like, I'm happy we half step these other cards over. I'm happy to
yeah.
move some of those all the way over. But
Yeah, well, so he
yeah.
said, so Gavin did say that they're going to be making some changes in April. They're going to be, they aren't going to,
They said no bans.
no bans, but they might consider unbanning some cards and moving them to the game changers list. And he did kind of signal that Coalition Victory and maybe Biorhythm, they were considering those. So
Yeah, I mean, and some of like those cards, I guess. But again, I'm just like, why are we spending so much space on cards that people might as well have memorized as being banned and forgotten about? Like, why?
yeah.
Like, why are we expending that effort? Like, I don't think Commander is such a small format. Like, we are now at what, between the ban list and this, maybe under 100 cards. I think it's probably even less than that total that have any sort of dealings with. And some of these are like on the game changers list are horrific offenders that have been at it for years. I mean, Ristic
Yeah.
Study on this list? Heck yeah. Smothering Tithe? Get out of here. Demonic and Vampiric Tutors? Peace. Like, all the fast mana? Get out of here. Ancient Tomb? Thank you. Like, I've known these to be problems for years, and I've just had to endure. Like, every so many games, it's just like somebody's popping off. Oh yeah, no Mishra's Workshop. What's up with that? Anyway. Hate that card too. You play against that on Magic Online, they're just like, turn one Mishra's Workshop. You're like, here we freaking go. It's like, ugh, eye roll, kill me. But yeah, but no, I like what they're doing. I like we're working our way. I think unbans and stuff is not what I want to hear. I'm
Yeah.
not saying I want to hear bans, but I'm happy to see more. This is going in the right direction. I think.
Yeah, but like I said, the game changers list is a good thing, but also like it's just another thing that you have to like while you're building your deck, you have to go to this other list now. But I don't know. It's just
I
extra
don't know, because
steps.
now this time they made it better than when they did the point system because they're integrating it to all the online software. So
Yeah.
now you're just going to build your deck, and then none of the cards on the game changers list for the most part should be linchpins to your deck. Like these are all like gasoline to the fire.
Yeah,
They're not the
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Like unless you're like building around Vorinclex. Like I don't when I read through most, I mean I guess you could be building around Underworld Breach, but like most of these cards are kind of like pieces of a deck. They're not
Yeah.
like the whole thing. And I mean even if your commander's turn grid, you can still be in upgraded. Like that's still in a 3. Your
Yeah.
commander is turn grid. So I think with the flexibility they've given, you're not really super cut out. It just is like you're not turn grid with mana vault all the time. Maybe
Yeah.
that's gonna us do some things. So I don't know. I'm liking it. Other thing I think that was weird is the infinite in-game change or in upgraded. The weird thing is they say late game 2-card infinite combos.
Yeah.
So this just brings up a thing from Commander for me that irks me. Because I watched, there's some guy with a podcast I saw randomly, and he was talking about like I build my decks in a way that I can play to whatever table I'm playing at. But his decks are just full of tutors, like all of them. And then he'll
And so
just
he
be
just
like,
decide when.
yeah, just so he'll just sit there. He's like, oh, I gotta wait till turn 7 to play my Kiki and Pestermite. Like, I'll wait because I'm a gentleman. And it's like, bro, you're just pandering to everybody. Like just like
Yeah.
that to me at that point, it's like you lost the plot, man. Like you're not even
like
playing the game.
just do that on turn 2 instead of wasting my time for 5 more
Right.
turns.
I'm like, yeah. So I get it. I get what they're meaning. They're like, if you got your Sanguine Bond and your Exquisite Blood and your Vampire deck, like,
yeah.
sure. And like post that time, everyone should have an opportunity to interact. So I don't hate it. Like even then, even if you were that guy waiting, technically people would have the option to like get you with like a removal spell maybe. Just combo's weird. I'm glad they're trying, but I think they could have been a little bit more explicit. I don't know. I just want to put it out there in this space that some people just think it's okay to just like, I've won the game, but I'm just waiting and I'm just watching what they do while I win later. And I'm like, that's always bizarre to me. And I'm just like, why? Yeah. Just why? But I don't know.
So they're gonna roll. He said they're gonna roll this out here coming up at MagicCon. They're gonna have, I guess, probably tables marked like 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know, whatever they're doing with CDH, but yeah. So it might make it easier, like in a convention setting like that, where you can just find a table and go to, and then trust these people have done their homework on what their decks, what category their decks in. Yeah, but this like
I would prefer to go to my Commander night and just always be like, cool, I'm sitting down to a 1 or a 2. I would be happy to. Yeah. I don't know why people are feeling like this is so much brain space. I'm like, bro, if it's a lot of brain space to you, or you have to cut 10 cards from all your decks, like, here's your sign.
Or just like go to F&M and like for casual Commander, and then just them say no 3s, 4s, or 5s, or 4s or 5s, and so because I've played that before. Like,
beyond that.
Like casual Commander is this guy shows up with fucking fastest Oracle combo. It's like, come on, dude. So
yeah, I mean, I had a guy casual Commander me go, what was it, like turn 1 Rhystic Study, turn 2 Smothering Tithe. I was like,
who was this Commander? Grand Arbiter?
It was Brea. And he's like, I don't know, this is just this, and then he's like, mana drain, he just has all this treasure. He's like, I'll just mana drain the first thing you do, and then I'll do this. And I'm like,
wow,
just kill us. You have like 30 treasures. Just kill. He played a thing that like made a map whenever he made a treasure. He had a million things. Like, just play your Commander and kill us. It's over. It's just like, this is, but this will also stop like the weaponizing in the game. So I also have experienced this in Commander, or it might help with this. So you'll sit down to play a game, and most of my decks, I think, fit somewhere between 3 and below, because I already kind of self-restrict myself on tutors, extra turns, land destruction, stuff like that. So I bet if I went and listed all my decks, I'm probably at a 3 at the highest. Like, I could almost bet money right now that's the case. But what'll happen when you go down to play a game, you'll sit down and you play a game with random people is how it works kind of now. And we're all just like, we don't know what's going to happen. We'll sit down and play. The first game goes down. And then whoever does whatever, sometimes people take that, it is time to now show you how good I am in Magic. And then they go and get their most powerful deck and try to stuff you, or whatever they'll try to do. They're like, here was my nice thing. You have done thing that has offended me. Here is the gun, and I'm going to destroy you. And that's when that Brea game happened, by the way. It was one of those games where I'm playing mono green Nissa, the one that like enters and gets a forest and then flips. And like on turn 10 or something, I played Overwhelming Stampede, got it back, played it again. Like I had like a bunch of dudes in play, like big idiots. Like it was well into the game, and then I'm like, cool, attack for $1 million, like super late in the game. Then the guy's like, oh, that was cool. Turn 1 Rhystic Study, turn 2, he switched decks completely. Just, I'm killing you.
Yeah.
So now I don't have to experience that. He can switch to a deck that's better against me, but it's not going to be like a nuclear weapon. It's not like, we're all playing in the same environment, and now here is a completely different dimension I just came from to shoot you down.
Yeah.
And I would prefer that. Like, they can still gun for me. They can come and try to kill me, but like, I don't want to be like, all right, here it is, or here's Thassa's whatever, so I'm loving it. I'm loving where we're going with this. It's got some problems. I definitely would love to go down that list a couple times.
I mean, this is the first iteration of this. I'm glad that they didn't do, they sat there, because it was September when all this happened. I'm glad that they took, those, 3 or 4 months. They just, put the team together. They didn't do anything at all. And now we're coming out with this here in February, and we're gonna see how that rolls for a couple months come April, and you know they're looking for feedback. So if you guys have feedback, hit Gavin up on social media, send them emails, send them DMs, comment on stuff, what you think, because your feedback is what they're looking for, and so that they see what kind of the community wants. But yeah, it'll be interesting come April to see what happens. So
Yeah. Any cards you felt like you wanted to add to this list? Maybe we could pick one for each of us. You're like, oh, if I could throw this on that Game Changers list, I'd be
I
happy to see it there.
I mean, Thassa's Oracle's already in there. I want that card to die in a fire so bad.
Yeah,
I
I knew
hate
you
that
saw
card.
one.
I hate that card.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I don't know. I haven't really played against a lot of like some of these cards. I was surprised. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm just ignorant on deck power level, like Smothering Tithe. Maybe it's just the way I play the cards. I don't know. Like I've put Smothering Tithe in a like a Naya tokens deck. With not the intent of like totally abusing it. So I don't know. Like Rhystic Study, I I don't put that in my decks usually. But I can see how it's not really like game changing. It's just annoying to play against, like because it stops every time. Like do you pay the? Well, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't
It
know.
should be called Game Changers and Annoyance or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Slash not
So
very fun or something. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
the only card that I absolutely hate is Thassa's Oracle. So
oh, okay. So they got you. They got a lot of the things I are on my list. I made a list a long time ago of cards I thought it's it's pretty verbose. I think I have 60 cards on it, or
okay,
58, and then I had a set of honorable mentions, um, because I thought they were powerful level enough, but they would be nice to get rid of.
yeah.
But yeah, they hit a lot of them. The one card I think, ooh, I had to pick one. I've really been on Skull Clamp's butt for a long time, and I really think I will
Really?
level down on Skull Clamp.
Huh.
Yeah, not a fan of that card. It's 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 not ubiquitous, so I understand why like you could say it's okay, but the games where it's good, it's exceedingly good. Like you could be behind and you get a Skull Clamp going and you're like in space ahead of everybody. It's still one of the best rates for card draw in the game.
It
Um,
is. Yeah. I mean, I have it in two of my decks. So
I mean, I think I would probably play it in if I were like trying to maximize some of my like even my more fair decks. If I was just trying to be like as maximal as possible, I would probably play it in a lot of them just because you kill my commander, I draw two cards. Like you're
yeah.
never gonna keep butting me off my commander. I don't know why people don't do that. Um, Top is also a good one, just because
Just because it's annoying, it takes up so much
yeah,
time. Yeah.
it's annoying. It should be, I think, in every commander deck just about. If you ask me, some cards that are just expensive and I don't like Mishra's Workshop is like it's unfun when it's good. It's too good,
Yeah.
but it is narrow. Most people don't have one. But they hit a lot of the cards I have a problem with. I also have a personal vendetta against Mana Drain. I think that card is stupid. I hate it with passion. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, so I could go on. I have a list. They hit most of the things I think would give me a headache.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Otherwise, I think we're going in the right direction though. They hit a lot of stuff. I don't think I could ask for much more, but I think every card on this list also overlays onto my list. So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So except for Trinisphere, I think Trinisphere is like, oh, in the Praetors. I wasn't expecting those. I think those are the ones that I was like, huh.
You're
Like,
you're
what?
you're ahead of your time, Nick.
Yeah, ahead of my time. Yep. So way back, I had a theory. I know I'm sorry, I'm going long, but I had realized the solution to Commander like way too late in like 2015. Now this is me saying that, so obviously I have the best ideas. I realized that if we cut off, or if Commander's starting point was Mercadian Masks, and you banned Top and Skull Clamp at that time, the Commander format would have been completely devoid of problems. Like
At that
that would
time,
have killed
yeah. Yeah.
at that time it would have
Yeah.
been perfected and then power level wouldn't have had to go up to be exciting. So now we're in the great depowering of Magic from Commander, what seems like to me.
Yeah.
Um,
So they only had like 4 years of designing specifically for Commander at that point in 2015. So
yeah,
they
yeah, but they wouldn't have had to consider all these other factors that affect Commander in weird ways that have been distorting it. And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why we've
yeah.
kind of gotten to this point where we're getting all these crazy cards. I mean, on that list, a brand new card is on there. Trouble in Pairs is like
Hmm.
a crazy new card that they made.
Yeah.
Smothering Tithe is old, but it was one of those things in that time frame. They're trying to find ways to make colors do things outside of their color pie so
Yeah.
that they can keep up, but they're also just negating the fact that some of the tools the other colors had were just old mistakes that linger on because it's an internal format. But
Hmm.
now they're fixing that, so it'll balance some stuff out, hopefully. And that's my goal. I like it. I know
Yep.
everyone wants to be boohoo, it all sucks, blah, blah, blah. It's too hard to think about, whatever. give him a chance, man. We're
Yeah.
finally doing something.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll see. Like I said, April, end of April. I imagine they'll, make some changes before MagicCon Vegas in June. So,
looking
all right.
forward to it.
All right. Is that all you got for today?
That's all I got for today, Josh.
Okay. Don't forget to like, shower, and subscribe, guys, and we will see you next time.